So now we are starting with the 9th lecture. This is lecture number 9 of algebra. And today the focus is on solving some basic type of question as well as solving word problems. It could be related to quadratics, it could be related to simultaneous, but basically still the focus is on quadratics. So let's look at the first question. The first question is factorize. So let's go ahead and factorize first. 4x squared minus 1. Now this is an application of a square minus b square. This is known as difference of two squares. So a squared minus b squared, that is a plus b, a minus b. So 4x squared minus 1 is basically 2x the whole thing square minus 1 square. Therefore, this breaks up to 2x plus 1 and 2x minus 1. So let's write over here 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1. Keep in mind, it's an expression. There is no equal sign. There are no solutions of this equation. It simply says factorize. So question number 2, part A is done. Now let's talk about part B. P is 2q plus r over r. Find P when r is equals to q. Therefore, P is equals to 2q plus q over q. So I have replaced r with q. So this r is replaced with the q. This r is replaced with the q. So therefore, this is 3q over q, which comes out to be 3. Pretty basic stuff. This thing is also done. It says rearrange the formula to make r the subject. So P is equals to 2q plus r over r. Let me solve it in two ways. So now the first way is this one, method 1. That is divide by r. So if I divide, therefore P is equals to 2q over r plus 1. So this r over r, this becomes this one. So now P minus 1 is equals to 2q over r. So cross multiply, and this P minus 1 I'm putting inside a bracket. So therefore r is equals to 2q over P minus 1. That's one approach that I've done. Now let me solve it using the other approach. That is method number 2. Let me choose a different color. So now I'm choosing this. So this is method 2. And over here, I'll first cross multiply. So PR is 2q plus r. PR minus r is 2q. R common. P minus 1 is equals to 2q. Therefore, r is 2q divided by P minus 1. That is the answer, 2q over P minus 1. Yes, it's necessary that you have to write the answer here. Answer in dotted line is compulsory, is a must. Okay, so that's the first thing. So I hope these two questions are pretty clear. Now, let me just focus on this question. That is part C. Solve the following pair of simultaneous equation. So this can also be called pair of simultaneous equations. Your choice whether to solve it using elimination or substitution. That is your choice. This is also good. This is also good. So now over here, what we can do is this. Let me just change the color. Okay, so now if I call this as equation 1 and this is equation 2, and look at the sign of this thing. So let me just reduce it a bit. Look at the sign of this positive 4y. Look at the sign of this negative 5y. I can get rid of that. So if I take the first equation and if I multiply it by 5, so 5 into 4 will be 20. if I take the second equation and multiply by 4, the opposite of one another. So 5 into 3, 15x. 5 into 4y, 20y. 5 into 17, that is 50 and 35, that is 85. 4 into 2x, that is 8x. 4 into negative 5y, that is negative 20y. 4 into 19, 4 into 20 is 18. 4 into 1 is 4. 80 minus 4 is 76. So this is 76. Now let's add it up. When we add it up, this positive sign, let me just highlight this. This positive, this negative, this will cancel out. And let me just clear my pen tip like this. And this becomes 15 plus 8, that is 23x. And 85 plus 76, that's 150 plus 11, that is 161. Now keep in mind, this is a paper 2. So that is why I'm grabbing my calculator. My phone is my calculator, and let me divide. So that is, first of all, let me double check. 85 plus 76, that's 161, perfect. Divided by 23, that comes out to be 7. So the value of x comes out to be 7, that is perfect. And substitute in one of the equation, 3x plus 4y is equals to 17. 3 into 7 plus 4y is equals to 17. 4y is 17 minus 21, that is negative 4. Therefore, y comes out to be negative 1. So x comes out to be 7, y comes out to be negative 1. So that is the working that we have done. So once I'm done with the question, I'll share the images with you so you can copy it down, and similarly, you can then try out the question. Now, I want you to first read this question thoroughly, and then I'll start with this. Now, the question says, a shopkeeper sells cartons of milk and bottles of water. There are two things. Now it says, let me just write it in blue. So there is milk and there is water. Now, when we talk about milk, each carton of milk costs $2.40. And similarly, each bottle of water costs $0.80. Everything is in dollars. One day, he sells X cartons of milk. So milk is X. On the same day, he sells 20 more bottles of water than cartons of milk. Write down an expression in terms of X for the number of dollars he receives from the sale of these cartons and bottles. Simplify your answer. Now, first of all, I'm using this red color. This is for milk and this is for water. So there is milk, there is water. Each costs $2.40 per carton. Bottle is $0.80 per bottle. He sells X cartons of milk. So this is X cartons. And he sells 20 more, that is X plus 20 bottles of water. Therefore, we are interested in the number of dollars he receives. So what I'll do is that I'll take this 2.40, multiply it with X. I'll take 0.80, multiply it with X plus 20. So 2.40, or you can simply write 2.4 into X. And this is 0.8 into X plus 20. That is the expression. We are not solving an equation as of now, it's an expression. So this is 2.4x plus 0.8x, and this is 0.8 into 20. 2.4 plus 0.8, that is 3.2x, and this is 16. 3.2x plus 16, that is the answer for this first part. Now it says the total amount he receives that day from the sale of these carton and bottles is greater than 250, form an inequality. So we know the inequality thing. 3.2x plus 16 is greater than 250. 3.2x is greater than 250 minus 16, that is 240 and 234. And therefore x is greater than, just divide. So 234 divided by 3.2, that comes out to be 73.125. Now officially we have not studied inequality as of yet, but it's just a simple basic inequality that you're aware of. Hence write down the least number of cartons of milk that he sells that day. So now in this one, if I draw a number line and if I write this is, for example, 73 and this is 74 and this is 75 and it goes till infinity. And this is the number line that we are dealing with. That is 73.125. So it goes something like this. So there are many different numbers that you see over here, 74, 75, 76, and so on, out of which one is the least? So 74 is the least among the lot. Among all of these, 74 is the least. So whenever we have a greater sign and we have a decimal value, whether it's 73.125 or 73.995, the very next integer value is the least value, because we are looking for the least number of cartons. And isn't x the number of cartons? Yes, x is the number of cartons. So therefore 74 is the least. So officially this is about inequality. We haven't studied inequality as of yet in our classes, but this is a simple question. Yes, this one was a good one, the concept of least number, and that is how we solved it. So let me stop over here. I will ask you people to first copy it down and then try out another question, and then we will solve that particular question. So let me just pause the recording till here. So now let's look at this question. The question says express as a single fraction. So when we have to express as a single fraction, we have to take LCM. That is the first and foremost thing. So the LCM is p plus 2, 2p minus 3. This 7 will multiply with this. This 4 will multiply with this. So 4 into p plus 2. And then we have 7 into 2p minus 3. There is a negative sign in the middle. Simplify. 14p minus 21 minus 4p minus 8 divided by the two brackets. Do not multiply them out. Leave it as it is. So now we have 14 minus 4, which is 10p, and negative 21, negative 8, that is negative 29. So 10p minus 29 divided by the two brackets, p plus 2, 2p minus 3. This is p plus 2, 2p minus 3. That is the first thing, very simple, very basic. So now let's look at this question. The question says, the distance between London and York is 320 kilometers. So let me highlight the important details. That's the distance between two cities, London and York. The next piece of information, a train. It's about a train. It takes X hours to travel between London and York. Write down an expression in terms of X for the average speed of the train. Now you heard and listened and saw the words distance, time, and speed. So how are they correlated? So we know that speed is equals to distance divided by time. That is the first thing that you should be aware of. Now the distance, if it's in kilometers, and the speed, that is in kilometers per hour. I'm just going with the colors. And the time will be in hours. So kilometers, hours, that will give us kilometer per hour. It could also be meters, seconds, meters per second. But over here, we're talking about kilometers and hours and kilometer per hour. That's the first thing. So how many what is the number of kilometers? That's 320. What is the time? The time is in hours, which is defined by the variable x. That is the answer for the very first part. Now let's look at the second part. Let's read it first and then make the equation. A car takes 2.5 hours longer than a train to travel between London and York. So now we are talking about a car. So now this is a car and it's taking 2.5 hours longer. So let me highlight this, 2.5 hours longer. So now if I talk about 2.5 hours, that is just like the number of hours x. So this is 2.5 hours longer than a train to travel between the same two towns, London and York. That means the distance still the same. So the distance is still the same, that is 320. And the time taken, if the first one was xr, the car will be taking x plus 5 over 2 hours. That is the first thing that needs to be done. Now it says the average speed of the train, and I'm using this green color now. So now the average speed of the train is 80 km per hour greater than the average speed of the car. That means if we are comparing the average speed, now it will be more. So how much more? Let me write it down. This 320 over x, that is the average speed of train. Now if I talk about average speed of car, so that should be the same 320 because the distance hasn't changed. The two towns are still in their current position. And now the time is this one. So that divided by x plus 5 over 2, that is the average speed of the car. So new time, old distance, this is average speed of the car. Now which is more? The average speed of the train is more. That means average speed of train minus average speed of car. This difference is how much? This difference is 80. So average speed of the train, that is 320 over x. Average speed of the car, that is 320 over x plus 5 over 2. This equals to 80. Now it's about simplification. So now what we can do is that x plus 5 over 2, can I write this thing as 2x plus 5 divided by 2? The answer is yes. So let me write 320 common, 1 over x minus 1 over 2x plus 5 divided by 2, bracket closed, is equals to 80. Now it's about simplification. So I need a little bit more space. So I should be very vigilant when I'm working, not the whole thing, when I'm working this out. So therefore, let me first simplify on the inside. So this is this one will multiply with this whole thing. And this another one, let me choose an orange color. It's right over here. This one will multiply with this x. So that is 1 into x. And this one is 1 into x plus 5. Let me write this thing as 1 into x plus 5 over 2. I think this would be simpler. So let's not change it. I can, but I don't need to. So let me write this thing as x plus 5 over 2. So in black color, this is x plus 5 over 2. I'm just using the fractions. And this thing is multiplying with this. All good, all clear? There is a negative sign in the middle. And the LCM is x bracket x plus 5 over 2. Remember, there is a 320 on the outside. There is an 80 over here. Now, if I divide, what happens? So this 1 into x, 1 into 5 over 2, 1 into x, the x will cancel out. So I'm left with 5 over 2. I'm left with 320. I'm taking this 80 to the other side. and I'm taking this whole thing, this x into this whole thing to the other side, that is x bracket x plus 5 over 2. Does it make sense? All good, all clear? So now let's start cancelling. So the 0, 0 will cancel out, 8 ones are, 8 fours are, 2 ones are, 2 twos are, and this is 2 into 5 is 10. That is x square plus 5 over 2x. Cross multiply by 2, so 20, 2x square plus 5x. And I think it's very close to this, it's almost done. 2x square plus 5x minus 20 equals to 0, and we have formed this particular equation. The examiner gives this thing so that you can double check your working. And be very, very careful whether it's talking about speed or distance or time. Now just look at this question, and if you remember, let me go back and let me show you this thing. And this was the last question that we did. And just read this question. London is 320 kilometers for York. A train travels at an average speed of x kilometers per hour. And then there is a car, and this was the working. The time difference is 5 over 2. And this was the equation that we got. Now let's look at this question, which is right over here. This time, x was the number of hours. So the cities are the same, the distances are the same, but it's a totally different question. Naturally, it's a quadratic equation. The rest of the parts will follow, but now the question is different. Now it says solve the equation, give your answer correct to 2 decimal places. So a is 2, the quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. A is 2, b is 5, c is negative 20. Let me evaluate b square minus 4ac first, which is 5 square minus 4 into 2 into negative 20. This is 25. 4 into 2 is 8. 8 into 20 is 160 with a positive sign. So this is 185. Let me take the square root of 185. So again, I'll be needing a calculator. So 185 and the square root is giving me 13.60. So that is 13.601. I'm working correct to 3 decimal places because my final answer is 2 decimal places. So always work a level of accuracy more. X is equals to minus b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac over 2a. That is minus 5 plus minus square root of 185 divided by 2 times 2. That is minus 5 plus minus 13.601 divided by 2. So now it's either this or this. Minus 5 minus 13.601 divided by 2. It's not 2, it's actually 4. It's actually 4. And this is minus 5 plus 13.601 divided by 4. So 13.601 plus 5 divided by 4. This answer is how much? 4.650. 4.650 negative. Negative 18 over this, that is negative. Let me just write it. And 13.601 minus 5 divided by 4, that comes out to be 2.150. This is 2.150, this is positive. Negative 4.65, rounded off, and this is positive 2.15. Find the average speed of the car. Now remember, what is x? X is hours. So first of all, discard negative value, since time cannot be negative. Be vocal about it, tell it to the examiner. So therefore choose x is equals to 2.15 and 150, that's the unrounded value, the 3 dp value. And they are looking for the average speed of the car. So where is the car? Average speed of the car is this. That is 320 over x plus 2.5. So average speed of the car, that is 320 over x, which is 2.150 plus 2.5. So that is This is 4.650. This is 320 over 4.650. Let me divide. 320 divided by 4.650. And this comes out to be 68.82. So let me round it off, 68.8. And this is correct to the nearest kilometer per hour. So the nearest kilometer per hour is 69 kilometer per hour. That is the answer for this particular part. So that completes today's lecture. So this is lecture number 9 of algebra, and that's done and dusted. Till the next class, take care.